Hi, welcome to my YouTube video. I was gonna do a video on the water for you guys and kind of follow the same system I'm going to talk about right now, but weather-wise and my grandma-wise, I wasn't able to go out fishing. So anyways, I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to talk about what I would call A-team baits and keeping track of your A-team. So basically what that boils down to is picking out a system of baits that you have confidence in. Because then on the days where you're not getting bit, throw these baits out and they're ones that you know will get hit. I'm myself not one. I don't like to swap out a ton of baits. Usually when I have one set up, they're basically the ones I'm going to go to. Now when I'm in my kayak, it's a little bit different story because I have less baits out. So I basically boil it down to, alright, I'm going to throw half my A-team out if I'm not getting bit in an hour, hour and a half. Then I'm going to swap to the other half. So I got my bait box right here that I'm going to bring the camera down and zoom in on you guys. But first I'm going to talk about how you figure out your A-team is, especially, it's a lot easier when you're on your big boat because you can get your own, rhythm going with your cruise and stuff like that. This is basically, let's see here, okay, it's focused. Fishing data book. So I have through here lots of different things. One is what baits are going on. I've done, let's see if it focuses. Okay, right there. Like a slide diver chart. So, this much line with 50 or 65 pound braid is getting me down that deep. Right here I have a reel fill data. So the type of reel, the size of the line, because yes, it might be 65 pound braid, but it has, the actual millimeters on it, the diameter and stuff like that. For lots of different ones, so I have like the 30D, the 20D, I have the dial 27, because I want my reel to be full. So I might do 300 yards of a certain type of braid, but then I'll put mono backer behind it to fill the reel out more and make sure my line counter is as accurate as can be. It's obviously more important for ones like dipsy divers and snap weight systems, when you need to know exactly, make sure your reel's tuned. Plus then too, when you have all that, especially when you're fishing deeper, when you have all that line out, you want your reel filled up more, so you're cranking more line in every spool. But basically, and then two, you want to go with things like this. Yeah, that's better. So I have every fish that we caught, how big it was, how deep we were, stuff like that. Speed, the type of bait, whether it's on board lines, dead sticks. Let's see here. Here's one from this year. Onion River mouth, kayak landed, blah blah blah. Keep track of that, fill one up. That'll help you organize what baits are working for you and also what time of year certain baits perform better. It can also show you what weather will, certain colors perform better in certain weather conditions and stuff like that. So now I'm going to open up my I shouldn't say tackle box, my Plano box, and I'm going to show you different baits and stuff and what I would consider 18 ones and stuff like that. So we're going to go here. Let's see if... Oh. That's it. So you can see I got a lot of stick baits, during this time of year, stick baits are king when the smelt are running, just because they match that profile a little better. But you can see I have a lot of similar colors, so I'm going to lay this down right there. That's not very good. Let's try that instead. Perfect. That'll work better. Pretty good. Alright. So, obviously some of the main ones you can see that are being duplicated are the original traditional style Rapala. Silver, black, purple descent, and seems like any style of stick bait works out fantastic. Just has that purple, that little bit of chartreuse on the nose, the white. Orange, original, neon flame orange, gold, and fire tiger. Basic, simple patterns. You can see it duplicated across lots of different ones. So like this shadow wrap. Same basic. I can't remember exactly what this one's called. I think it's called Ghost Shiner or something. But same basic thing. You got the silver, you got the black. Same here. That one's basically duplicating that one. Yes, they're all Rapalas, but you have lots of similar things. So like this one that I love in the fall is a Yakima Maglet. Same basic pattern. I think it's called Gold Flame or something like that. Orange, gold, bright neon orange, has a little white belly, but this one dives a lot harder and goes like this, so they see that orange and gold a lot more. When the smelt are really running, now I'm still pretty new to these shadow wraps. My buddy actually got me onto them. I didn't think they'd work for trolling, especially as fast as I troll, just because they're a jerk bait. They're not designed for trolling, but they work fantastic. And maybe that's a superior thing because they do have that smelt style body massively. But this one, I can't remember what this is called. It's not Ghost Shiner, but it's something Shiner. But it's got, let's see here if I can get that zoomed in. The bottom belly it's a shiny metallic strip, but it kind of reflects bluish, which I think mimics that smelt pattern very well. But you can see how all these are basically the same. Same thing here. I got smelt patterns, fire tiger, purple descent. Then you got a few of these, clown. Basically, you want something with a lot of chartreuse. Like this one. Salmo Wacky Floater. A lot of chartreuse, a lot of orange. That one's a really good bait. Husky Jerk. You want pink, because the main colors in the spring, basically pink and orange are the main colors. I seem to do better during bright sunny days on pink, and I do better on orange on cloudy days. Same thing here. Another Husky Jerk, purple descent. This one is a very good color for early spring and late fall. The browns love the purple descent, the white purpley color pattern of that. And then later in the summer, when they're feeding on herring and stuff, you got the nice, bright silver and blue. Again, another Yakima Maglet, fire tiger. That's probably one of my best producers in the fall. And then it transfers over to spoons as well. So we're going to get rid of these. So I like to run spoons before and after the smelt run. It's not that stick baits don't work, but I prefer having one hook in a fish. These fish are very strong and powerful, and they like to jump and twist around and worm around. And a lot of times what happens with the stick baits is you'll get one in their mouth, and then they'll thrash their head or jump out of the water, and you get two more in the side, and then that might rip the one that you have in the mouth out. But you can see I'm basically copying the same patterns here. So this is basically green and chartreuse. I would consider this more like a fire tiger pattern. I think a lot of people would consider it a green dolphin, but green and chartreuse is absolute king. It's one of my best baits in the fall, in the summer. Not as much in the spring, but once it hits that late May, June time frame, I am running a lot of green dolphin color patterns. Same thing with this. I think it's called green glow alewife, but same thing in the fall when they're feeding on a lot of smelt and the skinny shiners. This is a very good bait. You can basically tell all these color patterns are about the same. Same thing here. We got a lot of muddy water, especially in the spring, but orange dots, pink on a copper blank spoon. I like running the stingers because they're meant to be run at a faster speed. The Dreamweaver Super Slims also work. When I'm down in Michigan and I'm running at slower speeds, I like moonshines and stuff a lot. This is another one, kind of basically a mixed veggie. Orange and gold, Sodas Point Buckeye. If you watch Bill Stave Charter Fleets, they use this one all the time. And for a lot of mud, basically like an alewife, but just in a gold blank. So it's got a UV tape with black. And this is a Laker Killer. It's a Wonder Bread, but without the pink and the blue dot, just has chartreuse. Absolute Laker Killer. But as you can see, what I would consider a team is basically I would design a program around colors and not bait styles. So like let's say I'm running a big boat. Well, I want to run stuff up high on my farthest outboard and get deeper the closer I get to the boat. So I would run like a clean spoon, which is a spoon with no weight on it, on the outside board line. Then I would run something like one of these shadow wraps or the scatter wrap, which is getting down about 8-10 feet. That would be inside of that. Then I would run a maglet inside of that, and then I would maybe run the husky jerk or a snap weight or maybe a tail dancer inside of that. So I'm on the surface here, I'm down about 5-8 feet here, I'm down about 10-15 feet here, and I'm maybe down about 10-15 feet here, but because of the tail dancer or the snap weight having a much steeper dive curve, it'll go underneath this. So this one can get hit with a longer leader and go over top of the spoon. So you would basically fish them like this. This outside board has the longest leader. This one would have the second longest leader, third longest leader, and shortest leader. So that way, all of these, when a fish hits the board, the fish will get dragged back a little bit and go over top of these. And usually what I'll end up doing is, I'll say 75 feet here, 100 feet here, 125, 150. Or 125 here, 100 here, 75 here, and about 50 here. Somewhere around along that general line, depending on how clean and dirty the water is. Minimum, this clean spoon right here, the very surface spoon, this is a minimum 100 feet out away from my big boat and 100 feet to the side. If I'm in my kayak, I can get away with a lot shorter line because they're not as spooked by the kayak. But in a big boat, my main target for this spoon right here on the surface one is steelhead and kings and a few browns. Some of my biggest browns do come on, they're either on this spoon, which is way out on the surface and way away from the boat, or they're on this spoon, which is basically just off to the side and just barely below my prop wash. Doesn't seem, the big browns don't seem to hit either of these ones. It seems to hit either my outside board or the one right by the boat. Steelhead are very skittish of boats, so that's what I'm saying. Minimum, this one is 100 feet behind the board and 100 feet out to the side of my big boat. And that's pretty much it. Usually what I end up doing is setting up one side with one color pattern and the other side with the other color pattern. So this side might be fire tiger and natural. We'll say that. So this one's kind of the same thing, you know, kind of got greens and stuff going on here. And I'll say this side is pinks and orange day. So I'll run pinks and orange on that side. And then if I have one side out producing the other, then I might start mixing in some of these. But I might start changing this one into more of a, we'll say similar to the greens, but it might be more green and blue, more colorful on this side rather than more a natural pattern. Where since this side, or say the opposite, this one that's getting hit more, I might change this into a more natural pattern. So I might run more like Wonder Breads and stuff like that, but still kind of keep my color pattern. But I would say I stick to similar things. I'll take fire tiger / green dolphin pattern if you're counting spoons or stick baits. A natural, which is, you know, either gold or silver blank, but something that's mimicking a natural bait. Gotta have a gold and orange, and I gotta have something pink. And then I'll always have at least one purple descent out. That's what I would consider my A team. Now, it might be different baits depending on time of year and how deep I want to get down. But this is what I would consider an A team. You need fire tiger, natural smelt, orange and gold, purple descent, and a pink. That'll get you covered. That'll get you somewhat figured out of what the bite's like that day. And you can go from there and pick and choose what you need. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any suggestions of any other videos for future content, please let me know. Thanks, and I hope you have a great night.